All right, good morning to my massive audience of zero. My name's Frank. This is Premarket Wake Up. My community is called No More Paper Trading. I really need to do some things to get others to join, but right now I'm in a mood to work by myself, and this is more of a commitment video log. Anyway, let's get right into it. I'm going to make it even quicker today. In the news, as I go live, the government's still shut down. But we do have two releases today. Housing price index and consumer confidence at 10. Housing price index is at 9. Again, they're major enough that I will block out my trading around them to make sure I don't get caught up. Who knows how serious they will be. More serious today is earnings. Lots of companies putting out earnings before open and after open. Not as big as tomorrow after close, or just tomorrow in general. Tomorrow and Thursday will be huge. Sadly enough, I don't think I can be here Thursday. I don't know about Friday yet. I will do my best to do the afternoon, but I'm not an afternoon trader. People are used to certain schedules, and if I can't trade in the morning, it's difficult to build up the motivation to trade in the afternoon, other than just trading, doing any serious research work or streaming in the afternoon is just, I don't like it. Anyway, I don't know how any of these went. Let's take a look right now. I'm sure some of them are released as of now. There has been no huge movements in the markets in price in the overnight yet. So I would assume the earnings are not terrible. Okay. So the narrative is changing a little bit, and it's not real good. Whereas a month ago, every major news outlet was denying that the market was top heavy. Now they're outright saying it. I feel like that's a way to cover up a whole lot of executives taking profits after a new high. They can kind of cover themselves, say, well, it was a bubble, we said it. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but Amazon's about to cut jobs. Oh, great. That means that website will get worse. How the heck are we and Trump made a deal with Japan for rare earths? I didn't know Japan had any. And why aren't we mining our own? Whatever. Let's look again at 5 things to know before the stock market opens. Stock futures inch higher. Gold continues sliding. Yes, you can see that in the charts. Amazon to cut 14,000 jobs. I mean, I bet you they wouldn't cut customer service jobs. No, they wouldn't do that. Now they could probably use a lot less, human resources and um, email flippers. The type of people who have 4 lunches in a day and go to the gym on their lunch hour, answer 20 emails and think, "Ooh, that was hard work." Yeah, who knows? Federal Reserve starts today. Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow's announcement on the rate cut. If it's a surprise and they don't cut, that is going to be very bad for the markets. If it's a surprise and they cut a 0.5 point, that could really go the other way. I don't think they will. I think they're going to do exactly what's expected. United Health Group shares rise on earnings beat. Right, yeah, so they're just looting the taxpayer. Number 5, UPS stock jumps on strong. UPS got good earnings. How? I mentioned in previous streams that a lot of executives try to, I don't want to say cook the books, because that, financial engineering we'll call it, to make their final quarter of the year, or their third quarter right before Christmas bonuses. Because when do they announce fourth quarter? That would be in January. I don't know exactly, but yeah, they try to inflate the numbers to look good towards the end of the year. That could be all this is. Again, this could be more companies fear-mongering about tariffs, when in reality they know they're not that big of a deal, or that they'll figure out ways around it or adapt. So they get everyone all hyped up about it to look really good later on when they do just fine. I see no mentions of any companies doing very poorly in earnings. PayPal's up. They just reported earnings. Most evil company on the internet. Nvidia's getting sluggish, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to them. That's why I like futures. And technical analysis. On that topic, I'm done with news now. I would really like to figure out a way to interpret weaknesses. I know there's RSI, but it doesn't really work that well on the daily charts. I know it works great. Not great. Great's not the right word. It helps in the 5-minute charts, but in the daily, like, how would you know we're overextended? I would say the old-fashioned approach of price rising and lowering volume. As you see here, the last 3 days. We made new highs yesterday on less volume than the day before, which also made new highs. Just overall volumes decreasing. I mean, that might be a huge sign right there. But it's very hard to tell. I'm not the best at doing that yet. In fact, I'm going to add that to another thing on my to-do list, which is growing exponentially. Unlike my profit. Excuse me, I'm sorry while I do this. Maybe I should be looking at weekly charts instead of daily. Maybe it's easier to see there. And again, this is not to catch a top. Almost nobody ever really can do that. Like I was just saying earlier about the decreasing volume. That could mean other things. That could grow again. That's happened a lot. I'm sure we could see past times for that. All right, let's move on. I'd like to take a look at the overnight, and speculate a bit on today's possible key areas. The overnight for the ES rejected the high of the day. I don't know if I would call that the high of the day, because usually when I measure the high of the day, I use 415 as the cutoff, because that's settlement for futures. But between 415 and 5, we reached an all-time high, which is pretty nuts, with repeated bear signals, which was correct in the moment. I wish I would have caught that in the overnight. I wasn't even trading then. I had some things to do. That's how it always works. You got things to do and you miss everything. Anyway, price rejected early in the evening that high that was made between 415 and 5. It looked like price was going to break the close, but recovered and is now fighting to decide what it wants to do at the high. Again, I have very little. I should add that to my to-do list as well. Give me 1 sec. I want to add that. I might have added that before. All right, just a quick note. If we head lower, areas to look at would definitely be the close and then yesterday's low. We might get caught up in yesterday's opening range high. And yesterday's regular trading hours open. All right, NASDAQ. A bit more pronounced movements in the ES because a lot of the companies reporting this week are in the NASDAQ. But similar in terms of kind of rejecting that high. Not being able to break through yesterday's close and then was fighting for the high again, is now melting a bit lower. Who knows what will happen there. Going in today, I would say look out for the close. And then the same thing as yesterday's low. Beyond that, we do have, this is the daily chart, we have the R1 pivot point also, which if we go back to Friday, that is the spot that we were held up before rocketing over the weekend. I guess some people call that a gap and go. I used to use TPO charts, market profile, some other people call it. I liked it. I liked it a lot, but TradingView's TPO charts really suck, or maybe I can't figure them out. But they don't work the way I want them to work for futures. I need it to split up the profile in different chunks of time. I need regular trading hours in one section, the overnight in another section, and it's not capable of doing that. It's also not capable of splitting up the individual letters correctly for some reason. Anyway, that's my rant. So if I could, because I need TradingView kind of as an all-around system for all my trading. Being realistic, I cannot go back and forth all day between two trading platforms. It would cause too much confusion. I'd make too many mistakes. So it's on my list to do, among a million other things, is to check out Sierra charts and possibly move over there once my time is up with TradingView. Not that TradingView is terrible, they seem to be stuck in this weird area where they don't have much of an identity. They want to be everything. And with trading, you can be everything, but then you can't just stop working on things. There's a lot of features in TradingView that are incomplete and have been for a long time. All right, the Russell. Different story going on here, even though we have the rate cut tomorrow. Well, probable rate cut tomorrow, but maybe that's been priced in already. And unless we get some kind of a surprise tomorrow, you might see the Russell stuck in this kind of slow, very slow grind up. It's kind of hard to draw channels on this. I guess you can call this an upwards triangle. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think if there is a surprise, wouldn't that be interesting if you could have seen that in the charts beforehand? But if there is a surprise and they cut a half a point or whatever, we could see it break out of this triangle and reach all the way up to maybe the R3 pivot point. But who knows? As of now, I think the Russell's a bit stuck. Another theory could be that we are pulling back to bring in some buyers to give the big guys a better price in anticipation of tomorrow's cut. That's kind of what money makers do. They play retail against each other to bring price to advantageous areas for them. So what would that area be for them? I don't know. I could be wrong about that entire thing. I would say look out. I can give you some key areas to look out for. That would be previous month's high at 2510.2. I don't see us dropping as low as last month's close today, in one day. In fact, we might already be at the nice pullback area. That might have been yesterday's close. And we're just drifting near there now. That's also the R1 pivot point, which is significant. All right, let's take a look at the Dow. Again, another problem trading view is not fixed. So if I open just one tab, connect to a paper trading account, I don't know exactly what steps I have to take to reproduce this bug, but it's very common. Maybe I sign on to 2 tabs with a paper account, exit the software for the night, come back the next day, and every single tab is signed on to paper trading account. Why? I didn't sign every single one of my tabs onto it. I know I didn't. And then when I sign it off, every new tab has this wonderful pop-up. Because that's what traders love the most, is getting pop-ups in the middle of their charts. All right, maybe I'm like a frog in boiling water, and even though that's not a true thing. Maybe I'm just getting used to all the crap, and I don't know how good it is on the other side. All right. Interesting. In the overnight, with the Dow, mostly flat. Again, similar behavior to the ES, where price rejected the yesterday's high. got stuck around the close, and then something happened at 5:55 a.m. I don't know if that's when a certain company released earnings. Let's see if I can find that quick. There's a few of them. United. Okay. That was United Health at 5:55. So earnings are good. The market likes them. If we look at the daily, it's a nice move up. And add it to my list of things I should have caught. I could have easily seen by 7 o'clock that price was going to beat it again. Oops. Yeah, you can see right here at 7. Anyway, going into today, look for a pullback to this area, the current month high, which is no longer the current month high, I know. Yesterday's high. In this general area right there. That's about it. Going higher, we got a pivot point way up here. All right, let's check out gold. Gold continues to fall in the overnight. Opened flat. Could not overtake yesterday's close. And added to another thing I wish I would have seen. It would have been hard to figure out without staying up till... You could probably have seen it around 10:30. I was sleeping, so I would have missed it no matter what. But at first it might have looked like price was going to break above it. But judging by how quickly his strength fell once it got there, that would have been a good trade. But price did fall all the way to last month's high. Is that last month's high? Yeah. With last month's close right there as well. So we'll see. If we come back down and hit that again, that would be a good trade. At least a quick scalp. I think it's a good possibility that price will break through. If it will continue on for a while, I don't know. What the heck is going on with these indicators again? I know I set these right. And TradingView just loves resetting my indicators. I'll do that later. Oil. Around 3:30 in the overnight, oil had a huge drop. I don't know what caused that. It's probably some overnight trading somewhere. Some other market. I just said yesterday that I'm done trading oil. Even though I probably should have known that once we couldn't get over this close, last month's close, that it would fall a lot. And that's what happened in the overnight. Price could not stay near the close, yesterday's close. And it fell hard. I think I will change my strategy with oil to be only pay attention to the really important areas, the previous month's close, previous month's high, previous month's low, 200 SMA, 50 SMA. And I think that's about it. That's all I really trust. And even then, I should attempt it in a long-term sense. Yeah, well. All right, let's take a look at the VIX. I'm just about done for today. Now with trading with this video diary. The VIX gapped up a little bit and has been trending down since. Very slowly. But again, we are in this nice channel. Again, comfort zone where highs can be made. This is why I find it strange that news agencies are reporting on the bubble. They're blatantly saying the market's top heavy, look out. But of course they're puppets for Wall Street and powers that be. So they're directing retail to be scared. Why? To be scared just as we get great earnings. So far this week, the earnings have been really nice. And we got the 1-2 punch of earnings and then the rate cut. Meaning, without that weird narrative, everything would appear positive. Maybe they know that. No, let's think this out. Let's say they do know that earnings are not going to be great for the big tech giants later this week. Why would they then hint at that? Why would they warn people? That goes against their sliminess. The only thing I could think of is they're wanting people to get scared and sell. So Wall Street, hedge fund managers, huge money managers, whatever, executives at these companies can buy in at a lower price to take advantage of tomorrow's cut, tomorrow's earnings, and Thursday's earnings. Again, that's just speculation. I'm not betting on that, and I don't think anyone else should either. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to learn and see if I'm right. All right, that's all I have for today. I will be here tomorrow. Thursday and Friday are probably not. All right, goodbye, good luck. See you tomorrow.